Welcome to Curb Your Feminism Part 2. Over the success of the first video, I've decided to do a sequel. And let's kick off straight away with this.
The Office for National Statistics found that women do an average of 60% more housework than their male counterparts.
On average, men clock up 16 hours a week of what the study calls unpaid work, which includes childcare, laundry and cleaning.
Yeah, contrast that to women who do an average of 26 hours of housework every week. Quite a mismatch, says the female producer who wrote that.
So why is that? Is that the fact that men are maybe working more and maybe the women aren't working more because maybe the women, hypothetically speaking, are at home looking after the children? Or is it just sexist? I wonder what sort of woman they've got on the show to talk about this point.
This is a disgrace. Men, you know, should be not doing things around the house in the same way. Surely it's not their role.
I was waiting to see what disgrace you were going to say. I think this is one of those stories that we don't talk about enough, actually. We talk so much, don't we, as women, about, look, women can be politicians, women can be doctors, women can run businesses, women can do this.
No, you're the only one that talks about it like that because no one else is that bothered. You're the one that goes on about feminism every second of every day.
And we forget that's a great idea, but it's not that before we could be doctors, we were all just sat around, you know, sunning ourselves, doing nothing. Women have been very busy since the dawn of time, and if women are going to achieve all these wonderful things that we want to achieve, we actually can't do all that and then still go home and mop up the baby puke and do all the laundry and do all the cooking. We can't, you know, and it's interesting, I was at a conference recently for like important women, goodness knows why I was there, but somebody said to me, oh, you do so much, how do you do it? And I said, well, I'm very lucky, my other half, you know, does a lot around the house, really sorts things out.
Maybe your partner does that because he hasn't got a successful career as you. Maybe it's just the fact that in all houses, the person with the most successful career does more jobs at home because somehow you've made a living out of moaning.
And every woman sat around the table, the QCs, they all went, oh, yeah, I'm very lucky, my partner does the same, or I'm very lucky. And all these women who'd achieved so much, it had all come out of them feeling, oh, very privileged and lucky to be in a relationship that was equal. And actually, you shouldn't be privileged.
Honestly, this woman just wants to find an argument. She feels that the whole of mankind is against women. And I think deep down, she's the one that's against the women.
Survey's nonsense, then.
No. What I'm saying is women who've achieved all of this much have often done so because they've got good support at home. Without that good support, you can't. Lots of women not at this conference, too busy having to clean up the mess that their partners and children have left all strewn around the house.
Maybe, just maybe, there's some women in the world that don't want to have a career yet. And they want to put that on hold and they want to be with their child. Because some women just, you know, feel that maternal instinct. Obviously, I'm guessing this woman's never had any children because she's hell-bent on just feminism while her husband cleans the floor.
And it's totally pertinent because Feminist Times has just relaunched today and I've got a regular column. And my first thing I wanted to write about, first episode, must write about housework.
Feminist Times? Is she actually having a laugh? What, there's a magazine called Feminist Times? How the hell is this? What the... Good God. So that woman is obviously making a real name for herself. She always gets called into every TV programme. And here she is talking about sexism in working in hotels. Because basically the argument is when a man works in a hotel, he has to wear a suit, shoes, such and such a tie. But when women have to work in a hotel, they have to obviously make sure their legs are shaven and they have makeup on and basically they look nice. Men don't wear makeup, so I don't think we've got to wear it, but apparently it's a big argument.
I mean, I understand that you have to be smart for work, of course you do, but when we've got separate rules for men and women, well, there's a word for that, isn't there? There's a word called sexism. I mean, if they said, here's how black people have to dress in our office and it's different from white people, we'd go, what? What are you talking about? Of course you should be smart, freshly washed, clean uniform, but to say women have to have a full face of makeup, women have to shave their legs, you can't, it's not that you do a more professional
really sexist,
job.
Though, is it? That's not really a sexist
Well, of course
thing
it is
to say
if the
that people
rules
have
are
to be
different.
smart. No, but I understand what you're saying about the makeup, that is just exclusive to women. But the Dorchester, and that is one of the brands that's obviously brought this whole discussion to light, they have the same set of standards for men and for women.
They're not
So
asking. No. They
to do
cannot
with it.
possibly be asking men to wear a full face of makeup and
have
shave their legs.
but we found out this morning that part of their list for men is to make sure they are clean shaven.
And must have clean manicured nails.
But that's surely, don't you think, Kate, that is just in keeping with the line and with the standards of the Dorchester. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't spend an awful lot of time at places like the Dorchester. I'd love to.
Me,
but
I'm there all the time,
yeah,
you know, as you can imagine. Just,
you
you know, lounging around.
But if
Well, I'm glad she's finally admitted it. See, she's got to have an argument with everyone, but she's finally admitted that she spends half her time lounging around.
If you did go there, though, you would expect a certain standard from the staff. So let's say the lady behind the counter, she hands you the key, her nails are chipped, her makeup is garish, she doesn't really look like she's in keeping with the tone of the Dorchester. It would put you off, and you would think, why have I spent £700 or up most of that to stay here when I could be staying in a Holiday Inn?
You see, I think you're right. I want her to look smart, but if we're because what they seem to be saying is everybody needs to look smart, but the women also need to look sort of glamorous. And I think
The
that
word
sense,
glamour's not mentioned in that
but
list.
to wear a full face of makeup, I mean, that doesn't help you
Well,
do
you'd
your
look stupid
job,
if it was
does
half a face of makeup.
Well, which half? Yeah, just the bottom half.
I don't know where this woman comes from, but sometimes women want to wear makeup because they want to look nice. Maybe not that they want to be glamorous, but they just want to look nice. And they don't want to look horrible. I mean, some women don't want to wear makeup, and that's great, it's up to them. But most women want to wear makeup because they want to look nice. And that's not because they want to look nice for men, that's because they want to look nice for themselves.
The point of this is this letter that is sent to staff is sent before they even turn up for interview. So therefore, if you don't agree with this, or if you see it in your letter, you go, oh, do you know what, maybe this isn't, if this is important to them and this isn't important to me, maybe that's not really where I want to go for a job.
I mean, first of all, we should be clear. This is a job which, at the bottom level, people are being paid like £9 an hour to go and work at the Dorchester, at least £700 a night rooms. If they're going to impose all these rules, I think, personally, the very least they can do is, you know, OK, give you a grooming allowance, allow you to take some time off to get all these manicures and all this kind of stuff.
They're aware of this when they start. So if that is something that is going to be a problem, I know you mentioned a grooming allowance, but really, to keep yourself clean and tidy, it doesn't cost a lot of money.
£9 where I come from is quite a lot of money, really, for working in a hotel. And why should they get paid a grooming allowance? This woman's actually, literally, she's the most... Good God, I can't stand her.
Which has prompted new guidelines banning sexist language in schools. Well, in a moment, we'll be speaking to the feminist activist and comedian Kate Smurthwaite and Jake Wallace-Simons, associate editor at the Mail Online. But first, here's some of those sexist phrases that those guidelines are aiming to tackle. Jeers such as sissy or don't be a girl are to be banned, as well as man up to boys when they might be upset, and referring to a girl as a lesbian because of her interest.
So let's just nip this in the bud as quick as we can. Sissy, don't be a girl, and man up. Phrases that have been used for years and years. I just think people are too touchy nowadays, and people just need to, you know, stop being such a wuss, to be honest. The lesbian one, didn't have that in my time because there wasn't many of them about, as it were. But yeah, I can kind of agree that doesn't need to be said. But come on, sissy, don't be a girl, man up. Please, this is just more arguments for the point of it.
Kate, if I can come to you first. We were hearing there some of these phrases that are going to be banned, things like man up, but it's not just the children in schools who are apparently using these phrases, it's also teachers as well, isn't it? Are you shocked by the findings of these reports?
Well, I guess what I'm really shocked by is that this even needs saying. I mean, we haven't, you know, sat down and had a discussion for a very long time about is it all right to use racist language in schools? Of course it's not. And what I guess I'm surprised at is that this has to be discussed. It's a shame, but it seems that it does. It seems like these kind of things are on the rise, and perhaps that's unsurprising. I think we see a lot of these kind of pieces of language used on TV and in the media these days. We've seen, you know, everything from sort of Keith Lemon to Dapper Laughs. These kind of things do get said these days.
But maybe, just maybe, Kate, it's people trying to be funny, people trying to just take the mick, people not taking the word seriously on what it means. You know, maybe you're just too sensitive.
Unfortunately, and so I think it's important that we make it clear in schools that it's not acceptable and that, you know, using this kind of language isn't okay. But I also think we need to sort of challenge the wider cultural situation in which this kind of language has become normalised, because it's obviously not helping. There is, you know, a huge gender divide in this country in terms of pay, in terms of violence against women, in terms of all sorts of issues. And we have to tackle it, you know, in every direction we can. And one of those ways, obviously, is making sure that we raise children in a good, healthy, equal environment where they're taught that their gender is not a predeterminant of what they can or can't achieve in life.
Jake, what do you make of this? The guidelines are suggesting that that sexist language should be just as bad or treated just as seriously as racist language. Do you think that's fair and that we should be giving them similar priorities?
Well, superficially, that would seem to be the case. But if you look at the detail of the report, it's a shocking indictment of the state of modern Britain, because the way in which the report proposes to enforce these guidelines is by setting up squads of pupils, of girls, to go around policing other students and reporting them if they use language which is not PC. And we're not talking about rape jokes, we're not talking about stuff that is overtly racist, or rather sexist, sorry. We're talking about saying things like man up or calling each other a sissy. And does the government really have nothing better to do and nothing better to spend their money on?
He's got a pretty good point there. And the fact that it's girls running it basically means, hey girls, come along, watch this woman called Kate, follow what she does, and then go and police a school. Go and police a school. Don't you be saying that word man up. And that was Curbing Feminism Part 2. Thank you for watching. There is a Part 3 coming soon. If you'd want to watch one of my other videos, which is hopefully here and here, that would be great. Thank you for watching, and if you have any ideas, please write in the comment box, and please subscribe and share my video. Thank you for watching, take care, and don't forget to put a like on it, please. Thank you, bye bye.